everybody, welcome to another video, and today I'm finally getting around to doing the at-home gender prediction tests that are mostly just a bit of fun. And I didn't do this with either of my boys because I knew what I was having, but I figured that since this baby is a surprise, I would have a go and just have some fun with these tests. So I've got an article on Baby Center here to help me. I've done a few of these ahead of time, but I just thought I would go through them. Notice your cravings. So the idea is that if you're having like very sweet cravings, then you're having a girl, but if you're craving more savory, salty, protein-rich things, you're having a boy. Now this pregnancy, I have experienced pretty intense sugar cravings, so that would say girl. However, I had sugar cravings with Fox, who's obviously a boy, but I will say that I feel like they've been more intense this time around, so perhaps that says something. The Mayan prediction. So apparently, if I look at how old I was when I conceived, so this is a bit like the Chinese gender prediction chart. The Mayans had a very similar way of predicting. Okay, so how old you were when we conceived and the year that it happened. So I'm 28. And it's 18, so they coincide, they're both even. I'm carrying a girl, apparently. If the numbers are both even or both odd, then it's a girl. And if they mismatch, then it's a boy. But in my case, they match, so it's a girl. What's your partner's weight? So if John has been putting on weight, which I don't think he has, but he definitely hasn't been losing any weight either, which I guess doesn't quite make sense given the fact that he's been cycling a lot, but he put on weight when I was pregnant with Leo in sort of like sympathy. But he hasn't put any weight on this time, and he didn't with Fox, so I don't know. Boy? So see how the ring swings. So this is one where you tie your wedding ring to some thread or string or something, and you hold it over your belly, and depending on whether it swings backwards and forwards or in circles, tells you whether you're having a girl or a boy. So mine actually swung in circles, and that means that it's a girl. The Chinese gender test. So we've got the Chinese gender prediction chart here. So when I conceived, I was 28, and we conceived in June of this year. The prediction is a girl. This is very girl heavy, isn't it? But I could say that when I was 20, I conceived Leo, and we also conceived in June, so that's a boy. Okay, let's see. Fox, I was 26, and we conceived in September. Girl. So it doesn't correlate for Fox, but it did for Leo, so, you know, maybe 2 out of 3, girl. The baking soda test. Now, I did this, and it was kind of interesting because I didn't expect what happened. But basically the idea is that you mix a little bit of your pea with some baking soda, and if it fizzes or doesn't fizz, then it tells you what you're having. So in my case, it did not fizz at all. There was like zero reaction, which I really wasn't expecting. If the baking soda fizzes, it's a boy. So it didn't fizz, so that would be a girl. Ask the little boy. So ask a little boy. So a little boy will show interest in your pregnant belly if you're having a girl. So I guess the only boy that I guess Leo is sort of like the little boy in this equation. But he was very loving and very affectionate of my bump with Fox. Probably biased because he's a sibling. So, I don't know, maybe a girl? He thinks it's a girl. Fox has shown some interest in my belly, but not a great deal. He hasn't really noticed any difference, obviously, being only like 18 months. Cabbage test, here we go. So you boil some red cabbage, and then you take the water from that, and you mix it with a little bit of your pea, and depending on the colour that it turns, can tell you what you're having. So in my case, if the water turns pink or red, it's a boy. If it's purple, you're having a girl. Now mine, without a doubt, definitely turned purple. It was not pink or red. And I actually really thought that it wasn't going to work because the water was so blue when I started with just the cabbage water. And I figured that by adding my yellow pea to it, it would make it go green, but actually it went purple, like proper purple. So, girl. One of the other ones that I was more interested in was actually skull theory. I also was interested in nub theory as well, but actually I really didn't have a clear early scan with this baby, and Fox didn't have a very clear early scan either, so it was hard to tell. I haven't really looked at Leo's in that way, so I kind of felt like nub theory was out of the window, but skull theory is actually one of the ones which is a little bit more scientific, because it is to do with the shape of the skull and the anatomical differences between male and female skulls. So in theory, a boy skull is more angular and has more of a sloping brow, whereas a girl's skull is kind of smoother and rounder. Now I looked at all of the 20-week scan photos that I had for all three of my babies, and both Leo and Fox have a very sort of like prominent curvature of their forehead. It's quite pronounced, whereas in this one, the baby actually has a very smooth curve to the forehead. So that makes me think that this little person is very different to the boys, and perhaps that could mean that it's a girl. So these tests were just some fun. There's probably not a lot in them, but it seems like they are heavily favouring a girl at the moment. So I suppose come March we will find out for sure. John is convinced that it's a girl. Leo thinks it's a girl. My mum thinks it might be a girl. I am undecided because I've been wrong about these things before. And I just sort of don't want to place any bets yet. But if you would like to comment below your guess as to what we're having and whether I'll go like overdue or not, then please do leave your comment below and I will really enjoy reading them. And I will be back with another video really soon. Bye guys!